Hello and welcome to Dice Punks, a tabletop role-playing podcast where we focus on playing full campaigns in less well-known systems. This week, Professor Wecht comes calling, and the Frontispiece Four share some of their secrets with a patient. Hello and welcome. I'm Adam, your friendly neighborhood game master, and joining me are...
Hi, I'm Drew, and I'll be playing Hecate, Cato Burke. Whatever name you want to say, now's a bad time, Wecht.
Hello, I'll be playing Callisto Armitage, but that's officer to you, unless your name is Tarias Kane. You can call me Cal.
I'm Des, and I will be playing Luke Byrne, who has problems with authority.
Hello, and I'm Nick. I will be playing Ing, who is just, the most peaceful war criminal. Ex-war criminal. Unwilling war criminal. He's finding his way.
Poor guy.
Perhaps agent of war crimes?
Weapon no longer of mass destruction?
Formerly become death.
Now he is not become death no more.
Mm-hmm.
I used to become death.
Becoming something else.
There we go.
Hey.
So, thank you for those lovely introductions. Let's get right to it with our recap of last time, courtesy of Byrne.
So, after we left the place of honor, I met with K&B to invite her into a conspiracy. She accepted. Cato apprised Bronwy on Apatia in the spirit of openness. I continued my research into the good officer, uncovering some puff pieces written about their hiring at PSS that made vague mention of overcoming tragedy, which is a far cry from the journalistic hit pieces on Earth. Cato looked into a safe house for us and Over 3 as needs be, and we all looked into Apatia's backstory as a precursor to a decision to bring her into the fold. Caleb Dryden returned to the frontispiece, and that sure was an exercise in keeping a straight face in the face of a conspiracy theorist being deliberately cryptic. Afterward, we collectively agreed to bring Apatia in on things, so she'll be by to discuss matters in person this weekend after synagogue. There also was some friction that arose out of the non-residents' presumptions on the private spaces of the frontispiece and their automatic access to those. Neither of them particularly appreciate the niceties of other people having boundaries or mirabile dictu, hoping for some modicum of respect as a person, as distinct from a cop's mandated respect for their assumed authority. So that sure happened. We segued from there to a discussion of attempting to pit third parties at or against each other. I argued, hopefully successfully, against setting Dryden up with hockey, and stayed out of the merits of pitting PSS against Law Zero. This was interrupted by Ruprecht Wecht arriving at the frontispiece.
Yeah, thank you very much. The specific time that we're picking up here with Ruprecht Wecht arriving is not too far from the close of business on Thursday afternoon, the 23rd, I believe, of January 2020. And that does do the thing of putting Cato back on the spot to sort of party face somebody without any cool bonus, which was a feature of last time in great volume. But you know what? Sometimes it rains and other times it pours. So we pick up right there. Everybody else more or less going about their business, though, of course, Byrne, you are in the back of the frontispiece and able to sort of observe and chime in and such as you wish to.
Do matchstick things, yes.
Yeah. Cato, you're just doing bookshop keeper stuff where you're, looking through inventory, organizing shelves, trying to look and stay busy, probably have some reading or an audiobook or something, podcast going on as well, when the door chimes open. I mean, there's not like literally a bell above it, but you have a little like that goes off, at least in your interface, maybe in the store as well. And you turn and you see that Ruprecht Wecht has come calling, as he threatened he would those many sessions ago, though it hasn't actually been all that long in experiential time for Cato. He is, much as you last saw him, slightly disheveled, sort of man of middle years, severe cast to his face, dressed in that rumpled facsimile of professionalism that a certain type of professor sort of works very hard to embody. And he has a small cardboard box in his hands that is currently closed. As the door closes behind him, he looks around and spots you and says, "Guten Tag, Herr Cato. Is this a good time?"
Guten Tag, yeah. Good time indeed. Genau, even.
He chuckles slightly and says, "Very good, very good. I was hoping that this would be a fortuitous moment. The end of business is usually a little bit slow. How have you been since our conversation in my office?"
Oh, very well, I think. Business has been business. The rhythms around here are relatively predictable, except insofar as they're entirely unpredictable.
Just so. Well, I'm glad you've been well, and I have been thinking off and on about our conversation. Thank you for the unusual reading material. My students would certainly not appreciate it as much as I did. It seems...
No, that's why they're beginning students, after all. You gotta learn to appreciate that kind of thing.
And I do try to teach them. It's true. I do try to teach them. Well, I'm hoping that you may be able to help me with something. I'm sorry to come to you hat in hand, but, I have come across some things that I do not wish to be indelicate, but we are alone here, and it seems that the word on the street is that you have a bit of a backroom business in augmentations, and so I thought, well, who do I know that may be able to be familiar with unusual technology, and I thought of you. So,
not sure where you would have heard that. I am now typing a message to Byrne that says, what do we know about Wecht, and how would he know about us?
Hey, Adam, what do we know about Wecht, and how would he know about us?
And I think Byrne would understand that is specifically in regards to AUG stuff, right? Has he sent students here, as far as we know? Have students from his classes come? Do we have any reason to think that this is not a trap, essentially?
I mean, he has a lot of contact with students who are in disciplines that are congruent to or adjacent to augmentation disciplines. You've certainly sold students who have him books. They've been in and out, both this term and in previous terms. You're not sure that you could say for sure that you have offered your services to students that have had him, but maybe. It's impossible to say you haven't.
One does not, in the immortal words of the bard, take notes on a criminal fucking conspiracy. So.
Good.
Yeah. It seems like if it is not sinister, it would have to have come from students. If it is sinister, you couldn't really say where it came from, and that it was what would make it sinister, right? That somebody knows about your op that shouldn't.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now, the student thing is pretty plausible, though, right? Like, there's not really a compelling reason to believe that Occam's razor doesn't apply here until you have more information. The safest assumption is that, some student or other either sort of blabbed or else, like, thought that they were doing the wink, wink, nudge, nudge thing to somebody who might need the information.
Yeah, fair enough.
I
will
I will convey this, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we might need to clarify a bit. Sometimes folks who come in here mistake my, personal interest in augmentations for something untoward. As I say this, I gesture to me.
Mm-hmm. He nods kind of affably, at least for him, and says, I am sure they do, but I assure you that is not where I am coming from. I have it on what I think is good authority is to, help those who need some help with their augments. And so you might, either personally or maybe you know someone who has some expertise that I could be benefiting from.
One thing I certainly try to do is help.
He gives you a nod and says, and I appreciate it, to be sure. He gestures with his box towards your counter as though to ask permission to place it down there.
I give the universal gesture of by all means.
He nods, and as he moves over in that direction, he says, if it is not too much trouble, you may wish to close and lock the door. It is closed, but...
I make a show of going over to the door to lock it, even though presumably Byrne has already done the important part.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes.
He puts the box down. It is a little bit bigger than a shoebox, depending on the size of shoe, I suppose. And he sort of stands to one side and he says, this is a piece of technology that a student seems to have found, and not knowing what it was, brought it to me. I wonder if you maybe have seen its like. And he opens the box, revealing inside what appears to be a disabled kit bash.
Interesting. How much like the kit bash we saw a little bit of on security video is it a dead ringer, or is it tough to tell?
What's a good way of putting this? It is built on a similar scale, quadrupedal with like a head, and it follows a similar aesthetic. It is not exactly the same. This one has a sort of rounder head with one of what you would identify as like a sensor array rather than, two optical sensors and then, an array of other instruments. Which is more what you had seen last time, and you would put money on the fact that the exact articulation of the plating on it is different, but it seems to share both aesthetics and sort of construction methodology and materials with the kit bash that you saw, and it is very, very close to the same size.
I make another gesture of, may I pick this up as I move toward it.
I would also like you to make a roll and tell me what you get. 2d6, please.
Okay. 2d6?
Mm-hmm.
That's a 10.
Okay. Wecht gives you that sort of shrugging hand gesture that says, by all means.
I pick it up in the sort of fine work arm and turn it around 360 degrees in my hand, and I do look at it carefully, but I'm also, of course, making sure he knows that I'm looking at it carefully.
Mm-hmm. Let's be like a whole series of rolls here for you. Let's let you roll clever and cybernetics for a total of +5 to see what you can glean about the mechanics of this thing.
Okay. That is 9 plus 5, which is 14.
14. So, whatever else is going on with Wecht here, it is genuinely thrilling to be able to have one of these things in your hand. What you immediately notice about it, scrutinizing it, is that the locomotive elements and the joint articulation are miniaturized beyond what is practical for most applications, especially in cybernetics, maybe in robotics as well. If almost any fabrication facility that you have ever encountered or heard of in enough detail to make a judgment about it, were trying to do something on this scale, it would be less aesthetic and a little bit probably bulkier, if not like significantly larger in its footprint. It would just be sort of chunky with some exposed bits, in order to avoid the hassle of trying to make actuators and joints this small. This is seemingly sacrificing some function for form in a way that is contrary to a lot of cybernetic and drone construction that you are aware of. Another thing that you pick up on is that the actuation mechanics are unfamiliar to you. There are systems that, especially in prosthetic augmentations, sort of mimic the mechanism of muscle fibers, if kind of less fine and multitudinous. It's an efficient way of sort of contract a cable inside of a sleeve. There are some very high-end ones that use essentially reactive polymers to do the same thing. Listeners can think like certain Mass Effect designs in this regard. This is not quite as sort of finely constructed as muscle fiber would be, but it is, again, kind of overkill for the function here. What this probably results in is that this thing has very finely graduated motor control, right? It is able to make very small movements at a wide variety of very finely graded intensities. It probably stands up as well as any similarly sized and designed drone would, with less overall mass, at the cost of kind of standing out. This doesn't really look like most drones that would be constructed. You do find that you are unable to come to any meaningful conclusions about its sensory array and possible transmission of that data. You can tell this is an optical sensor, this is an EM sensor, things like that, but really the mechanisms are pretty opaque to you, and you don't see anything that screams antenna.
Yeah, I convey some, but by no means all of this to Wecht. I say, well, I can tell
Roll
you.
a cool.
Oh, okay, of course. Naturally. I love my life. Is that plus cybernetics, or is that just straight cool?
I don't think you have a specialty that really applies here.
Yeah, I figured not. I did roll a 9, though.
Okay. And what were you saying to him?
Oh, I was saying, well, I can tell you it's extraordinarily well made. I can tell you someone has gone to a great deal of trouble to make it animal-like in a way that may not be particularly necessary to its function. But, of course, I don't know its function. Do you? Did the student?
He shakes his head somewhat morosely. He says, "Nein, I've not seen its like before, and the student was familiar with the general aesthetic and body plan from the internet, but had not seen one in person themselves before. A quick consultation of the university resources did not turn anything in particular up, so I thought that, well, going to the streets, as they might say, would be the next logical step."
I quirk an eyebrow, hopefully, and hopefully the cool roll lets me pull it off, thinking, oh, the streets, this guy knows what he's talking about. This guy's cool. I say, it's an extremely interesting piece of tech. To be absolutely honest, I would need to take it apart to learn more.
He frowns at it, looking thoughtful, and he says, "I suppose that may yet be the thing that we do, but, well, I am loath to do so before I understand it very much better from its current state.
That's fair enough. If we don't know what it is, how are we sure we're putting it back together correctly? Do you have any idea how the student came by something like this?
Well, they said they found it on the sidewalk, as though it had been perhaps damaged or deactivated by something. I cannot find any damage.
Can I?
Make him another cybernetics roll to see.
Sure. It's a 6 plus, what did we say? Sorry.
5, I believe, making for an 11.
Plus 5, yeah. Yeah, exactly.
You can't really find anything that sort of signals that it was damaged to you. It's possible that there was electromagnetic interference or that there is an internal component that suffered some kind of, G-shock or something like that, but without taking it apart, you can't be sure.
Yeah, I don't see any visible damage.
Yes, neither did I.
I maybe even offer it could have been an EMP, of course.
He nods slowly. You notice that he's paying more attention to you than to the Kitbash. He says, I don't suppose you've ever seen anything else like this, no?
On the net, certainly, but I wasn't sure that what I was seeing was real, to be frank. One hears all sorts of strange rumors, and there's a whole genre of things like this on the net. I'm not sure if the student explained or if you've investigated, but it's tough to separate urban legend from actual tech.
He nods sagely, or at least attempting sageliness, and says, just so. Well, I appreciate your time, Herr Kato. He goes to sort of box the thing back up and says, I hope that you will let me know should you learn anything about this kind of device going forward.
Happy to contact you, and I hope you'll do likewise. One more question, though. Where on the street? What street? Near anywhere in particular?
I'm going to make a quick little roll here. I love my little dice box.
I love the way it sounds, and I love how much you love it.
He looks like this brings him up short for half a second, and then sort of shakes his head morosely as though pained. He says, I was not able to get good information from my student about that. They were a little evasive about it. I assume because they thought I would, tell on them should it turn out to be
chuckle
stolen.
at that. I only bring it up and, rumor, hard to separate. Rumor and innuendo from cold hard facts on the net. I hardly need to repeat that, but accounts one hears of things that look vaguely like this say that they show up nearby other objects of myth.
Oh, do they? Well, I suppose if you happen to spot any of these objects of myth, you will let me know.
Of course.
Gives maybe the most forced chuckle you've ever heard.
You'll officially be the first to know should I spot a unicorn, Professor.
Unicorn, very good, sis. Well, thank you.
I send you a unicorn emoticon.
Thank you so much
6
for your
rainbows back.
time.
And you for yours.
He goes to box it back up, and he says,
I make a show of unlocking the door while he does this in a gallant fashion.
Thank you. I will be in touch, Herr Kyoto. And he walks out of the shop.
So I'm assuming we now have clean footage of this thing and slowly rotating, which is not unhelpful.
Yeah. It's maybe not like super high res close up, but it's useful.
I did the best I could.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you were able to inspect most of what it's got at your leisure.
I am not there, but did we also get footage of the container it was in?
Yes, you would have.
I would have attempted to get footage of Wecht's face, the container it was in, the thing itself.
Yeah. All of
I
these
think
are...
we've established the main business doing area of the frontispiece has coverage by 3, 4, maybe 5 cameras. It's pretty well covered.
Fantastic.
I believe that we had established it was 3. It is a small...
Would you
I believe
believe
that's
4?
the
Okay,
case.
3 works. No, 3. Actually, I think we did say 3. Yeah, that's true.
All right. So Wecht heads out, and we verify the presence of the footage. And approximately, I guess probably it is not evident to you, Cal, but approximately 60 seconds after the door closes behind Wecht, you get one of those sort of in progress alerts from one of your fellow PSS officers, who I will not bother to give a name and identity to here, as it shall not matter, that one of the IMX drones that Tupper purchased relatively recently has detected contraband tech in transit within PSS jurisdiction, and that nearest officers are to respond. Cal, you are one of the 3 nearest. The location given is very close to the frontispiece.
Oh, snap. I respond, but I also forward it to the frontispiece
Mm-hmm.
and Nick. Or, excuse me, Ing. Yeah, Nick, specifically you, out of character,
Yeah.
receive a text.
I was going to say he's been
That makes no
abducted to
sense.
orbit.
Before I head out to respond.
Since we have a secure chat channel, I say, this is not a complete mystery. Wecht was just here, and, well, explain a little bit about how we've now seen a kit bash up close.
Mm-hmm.
As this is happening, I am copying the footage off of the camera's like internal whatever,
Mhm.
and am scrubbing it over to make it look like Wecht left without anything untoward taking place.
I am not going to make you
Do I
roll
need
for
to roll
this.
hacking for that?
No, this is something that is success is guaranteed in the time frame that you have.
Cool.
So
You're not
a
doing this
roll
under
there.
immediate time pressure or anything, yeah.
And like this is not a system that you don't have any access to.
Yeah, I'll mobilize my drones and see if I can get an aerial view. Patch any information that I have into Cal.
Excellent.
If you mention that that you're about to do that to the group chat, I will point out that it's possible that an overly adventurous police officer,
Mm-hmm.
not in this chat, may consider your drones to be illicit or contraband tech, and therefore urge caution on that scale.
I send a pointer finger emoji following that.
We wouldn't want to have anything happen that would require additional AirSats googly eyes.
Good point. Force of habit, I suppose. It had been very legal. Now, they're not.
I'm going to do my best to be the first to respond.
Okay.
But I'm going to send a text saying, prepare to be interviewed by an officer.
I do like a fear emoticon.
Cal, for funsies, I would like to get from you a quick plus corporate security roll. So +3 overall.
So 7 plus 3 is 10.
You are indeed the first officer on the scene. I rolled for the other 2. So the scene that you come upon on your scooter going inadvisably quickly. Yeah, with the little lights going and everything. Yeah.
This is how we start doing Foley for the show.
Gonna say it is an electric scooter, so it has much more of a sound than a putt 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 one.
It needs some maintenance. Let's face it.
Okay, so now I'm just thinking it sounds like an angry cat.
Not far. Yeah, not far off.
Somehow I find myself thinking of Perlix.
The scene that you come upon is the IMX drones are a little more practical, a little more functional than the little security drones from the Pixar movie WALL-E, but they are basically the same idea, right? Something that is more or less upright and on treads with like a display on it to communicate with people and some flashing lights. A big difference here, of course, is that, again, they are less kind of aesthetic, and they are festooned with sensor arrays of various kinds.
You are being detained. Do not panic.
This sounds like the robot that the NYPD deployed in the subway that required 3 cops to support it. Like, as babysitter, not as carrying, because they would never.
No, certainly not. This does operate independently, although how well it operates independently is yet to be seen. Now, Hal, this is about a block away from where the signal was originally sent, showing that Wecht did not stop when the drone tried to detain him. The screen on the drone shows a little like kind of raised hand classic blue hat policeman like on the Monopoly board kind of icon with the text please desist, and it has a little synthesized voice going, you are being detained by Polytech Security Solutions. Please desist in your movement. Your whereabouts have been reported. You have the right to remain silent. And does that on the loop. Wecht, for his part, has stopped moving and is sort of clutching a cardboard box to his chest and muttering in German under his breath at this point when you pull up. He looks up at your scooter arriving and puts on his best "I'd like to speak to the manager" face and says, officer, thank you for your quick response time. Could you please call off this malfunctioning guard dog?
Yeah, we gotta check off a few boxes first. Can I get your name, see your ID?
He sighs gustily and hands over his ID, says, Associate Professor Ruprecht Wecht of Grand Cross Polytechnic.
Yes, Professor. Sorry for the trouble today. We just got a notice that you've been carrying around or potentially are unknowingly in possession of illegal contraband.
That is very rich. This is, he gestures to the box, a scrapped drone that a student brought me.
Can I take a look at it?
He scoffs, but doesn't see a way out of it, so he shrugs and proffers the box in your direction. Does not hand it over, but does flip open the flaps on the top so that you can look down at the kit bash within.
Yeah, I'm sure this was a matter of professional inquiry, but I am going to have to call this in, regretfully. I appreciate your patience with the matter.
He looks like he wants to sort of like throw his hands up in frustration, but remembers that he's holding a box with some potentially kind of valuable research in it, and he just goes, do whatever you must. I am going to sit down on that bench right there. And he starts walking 10 feet over to a bench to sit down.
By all means, make yourself comfortable. I call it in.
yeah, it in that regard is very de rigueur. They've already got the sort of alert. Call it in. The sort of dispatch desk, takes down the time, location, code, and then you hear Lou Tupper's voice come in, and he says, "Look, you got to grab that thing from him, whatever it takes. I don't care what you have to say. You got to make sure you come back to the station with it. You understand, Officer Armitage?"
I've got it, sir. It's in my possession.
Good. Great. And then he cuts the call.
I walk back over to Wecht. I assume that I'm given the go-ahead to take a statement from him, but otherwise let him go about his business.
Yeah. When he realizes that you are taking the Kitbash with you, becomes very agitated and begins shouting at you in German, drawing quite a bit of attention from passersby on the street.
I don't respond. I just look at him. Do you have any information on the student that brought this to you? Not that they've done anything wrong. I imagine they stumbled across this, whatever it is. But they might be worthy of a line of inquiry so we can learn more about this potential threat to our students and staff.
He glares at you, mutters something in German, and says, "I will have to go and retrieve their profile. They are not a student that I have this semester, but if you give me your contact information, I can forward their email address and student ID number to you when I return to my office."
I give him my professional contact info.
Mm-hmm. He is very curt about it, but he does, just sort of take it and ask, "Am I free to go, officer?"
You're free to go. I have all of the information I need.
Thank you. And he stomps off.
Is the IMX drone still present?
It has quieted down, but it is still there.
Okay. I am going to load the Kitbash in my scooter and start heading back towards the station.
I text you.
I'm going to wait until I am out of sight of the IMX drone before looking at anything.
Good.
Sure.
Good.
So once I am ostensibly out of sight of the drone, I'm assuming it's not following me.
No.
Okay.
It occurs that there have been assaults on law enforcement officials by Revenant. Maybe Revenant's after that tech you're carrying.
That's a possibility. Are you feeling up to assaulting an officer?
One in particular, but this is Revenant. I'm not Revenant. I'm Matchstick.
I was just going to have it arrive already incapacitated.
Yes, but this way we could, Cato could, Gorister could. I wouldn't know what to do with it. Have a look at it.
We could probably learn a lot.
True.
But decision's yours, obviously.
Best make it look realistic. I'm scrappy. Despite my age.
Sorry, to be clear, are you challenging me to a fist fight?
Not sincerely. I'm encouraging you to make it look realistic.
I feel like this was inevitable.
Where's there somewhere along the patrol route, such as it weren't, that doesn't have public-facing cameras?
Good question. Let's see. If Cal sticks to roads as they normally would, there aren't really any that are risk-free. It's only if they choose to cut through some gaps and alleyways that there are places where there isn't any kind of risk of surveillance, and even then, only pretty briefly.
Are there any that would be reasonable for me to take as a shortcut due to Tupper's urgency?
You could maybe make a case, but I mean, it's definitely not going to be totally above or beyond like questioning to to take one of those routes is not going to save you so much time that it will self-justify.
Yeah, so it'll look suspicious.
Is any of this conversation going on in the group chat?
I assume all.
I've been chiming in as though it is, but that's
fair. We'll retcon
yeah.
that it is, given that you've chimed in.
This could also just be me having a bad feeling about this. I figure you two are going to fist fight eventually, like I said.
Yeah, I mean, it's as good a way as any to blow off some steam, relieve that tension.
Not to mention, I appreciate that we're taking this with a degree of sincerity. Never mind the fact that it would be a trained officer beating up a kid.
And like, no offense to Matchstick, but he not exactly a prize fighter.
Yeah.
No.
I was imagining Kato coming after Cal as opposed to Matchstick.
Probably more likely, but also like less funny.
I'm going to drop an alternative in the chat for consideration, saying, alternatively, Kato, do you have any illicit goods that could be replaced? This kit bash? They haven't seen it just yet. Especially any that wouldn't be traced back to you.
It's probably on video by now with the IMX drone.
Mm-hmm.
Fair.
Yeah, good thought, but probably that ship has sailed.
All right.
Though to answer your question directly, lots and lots.
Smash and grab it is.
Yeah, my thought was, I mean, I assume we're doing a degree of kayfabe here, and that no one's actually getting clocked, but also that Matchstick has the ability to show up as not Matchstick on surveillance footage when push comes to shove. That seems useful in this situation.
Oh, yeah, no. Surveillance footage actually doesn't matter because I would show up by Laughing Kid as something approximating the description of Revenant.
Exactly. Eyewitnesses would be an issue, potentially, but security footage would not.
Whatever. Just take a turn that's not on a road.
I wish I'd given you my stun gun at this point.
Hey, Kato, do we have any stun guns?
That's a good question. Do we have any stun guns?
No.
Okay.
I was going to say they
have an actual gun, but that's wildly inappropriate to the situation.
Do you have any devices that you can just...
I mean, I have an EMP I could just... Poof.
Scooter accident. Perfect.
What I was going to say, we actually have covered on air what it takes to get something approximating a taser, and Ing did not quite have enough money to get one that had the ability to do multiple shots, so we definitely
it's currently on my
them,
person.
yes. And we don't so we definitely don't have any just laying around the frontispiece.
I mean, do you have any devices that kind of look like tasers, and you can just hold it up to her and go bzz, 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 bzz?
Maybe.
So my suggestion, have you shared that there is an EMP on the table in the chat?
Yeah.
I respond with EMP, take my stun gun, right thigh, thumbs up.
If you say so.
All right.
I send Ing a private message and say, look, let's just let them work this out.
Ing silently steps back.
This has taken a dramatic turn given our discussions earlier, Robin.
It really has. I sent up a follow-up. Recommend lower torso.
Not right thigh?
Right thigh's where it's located.
Oh, right thigh's where it is.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
I'm talking about
Okay.
aiming at this point.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right.
We'll try not for lasting damage.
Yeah, it's a stun gun. Don't hit the eyes.
Yes, but I don't fucking know how they work.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And I know that I don't know how they fucking work.
Well, I guess, is there anything that you are doing other than leaving the frontispiece on a beeline to Cal's location and activating
On my
Laughing
hoverboard.
Guy? On your hoverboard, perfect. All right.
Which will be discreetly set aside in an alleyway before I go on camera, as it were.
Sure. So what I need from both of you then is a cool roll.
Okay, let me. Uh, 7 plus 2 is 9.
Mm-hmm.
10 plus 1 is 11.
All right. So, Burn, you stow your hoverboard.
Do I need to roll stealth for like hiding the hoverboard or any other things?
I mean, hiding the hoverboard is one thing. I don't think it's going to be a stealth roll just for that. Otherwise, you're not really trying to be genuinely stealthy. You're
I'm trying to be stealthy for people. I'm trying to be stealthy for the approach and the departure.
okay.
I'm not trying to be stealthy for cameras.
A meaningful distinction. I guess go ahead and give me a roll.
Yeah.
Your cool and stealth in this case.
That would be
plus
cool
4.
stealth.
Yeah.
Plus 4. So that's also 11.
Okay.
Or wait, no, that's 13. I rolled a 9.
Okay. Yeah, you stow your hoverboard, you round the corner to where you know that Cal is sort of currently en route. How do you execute this quote unquote ambush?
Sort of ostentatiously slide the EMP device out into the relevant lane of traffic, such as hopefully it weren't actually traffic, into the good officer's path. And
I am going to make a show trying to swerve to avoid it, but perhaps a beat or two too late, as though delayed in noticing it, because I imagine it is a small device.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, so it does its little pulse, and I mean, yeah, legit, Cal, your scooter and your arm go dark.
By most of me, if we're being real.
And some of the signs and advertisements in the area, as well as one or two, sort of ongoing phone calls in the vicinity, though not in line of sight to Cal, go sort of offline. And I guess, Cal, how are you playing your bike and parts of your body going dark?
So, just for the listener's sake, I need to specify that it's my arm, my left knee, my right leg, hands, and also a portion of my neck that have suddenly stopped functioning. There is a minor accident.
I'm going to say that the non-Ogverts are better shielded against EMP than the Ogvert arm is. So they do restart fairly quickly after this.
That's fair.
The Ogvert arm does not.
I attempt to crash my scooter gracefully, duck and roll as best I can.
I am moving to intercept, retrieve taser, and discharge it.
I do swing half-heartedly with my left arm to try to block the attack, but not anything that would cause any lasting damage.
Yeah, you
Also, do I notice that there are bits of you that have stopped working beyond what I know to be
Yes.
your arm?
presumably you
Okay.
would notice, yeah.
Okay. So this is not caught on the recordings, but I look a bit horrified as I am taking the taser off of your person.
And the swing is more of an open hand thing since my hands are still rebooting.
Right. They're doing the...
I am probably using my left hand unless we are ruling that my operative hand is also well shielded.
I guess I was assuming that you got it far enough away not to be affected.
That was sort of what I was figuring, but I wanted to bring that up in case
Mhm.
you ruled otherwise.
Let's rule that you're still functional here, though you can use whatever hand you wish.
Yeah.
I picture this being a little stagey, as neither of you are. I mean, you're both like trying to sell it, but neither of you are like trained in stage combat. So there's like kind of a wide with the rebooting hand.
Yeah, I think the closest I would get is bullshitting.
Yeah. Well, once he gets once he gets the stun gun, I am going to start reaching for my gun in because I'd already swung, it's going to be a very broadcasted movement.
And then the only thing I'm going to make us roll for subsequent to our previous rolls here is, let's see, Burn, roll a quick for me, so 2d6 plus 2 for your operation of the stun gun.
That is a 13.
Wow, all right.
Rolled an 11 again.
So you got it pretty much online. It has, if anybody's ever seen footage of tasers being used, it's like two little darts basically on coils of wire. One of them pings off of something on Cal's belt, and the other one makes contact, albeit like through layers of clothing. So Cal, you are like getting at least a little bit of the stun gun experience here, and not for the first time. It is, of course, unpleasant, but you are at least not getting the full experience from both prongs. And Burn, I don't know what your canonical experience with these things in any capacity is like, but it makes like a loud clicking and a surprisingly loud zzz sound. And then
I have been near their usage. I have not been on either side of it directly previously. Mentally, I am rolling mind.
Right. Yeah, this not being
to cross-contaminate systems here.
Yeah, this not being one that has stress meters, though. The Unknown Army stress meters are delightfully portable. If anybody ever wishes to just strip them out of that game and put them in any other game.
So also, point of order, I know that Matchstick is protected against surveillance, but what am I seeing in particular?
Just you're
Matchstick.
Seeing Matchstick.
And a hoodie, hopefully.
An adult height, but like definitely not properly filled out yet. Person in baggy dark clothing, looking kind of horrified at what they've just done, and taking a drone off of you.
Yeah. So hopefully you have a hoodie on or something to conceal.
Oh, of fucking course.
Okay, good.
So yeah, Burn, you watch the good officer kind of like jerk a few times and grit their teeth. You grab the box with the drone in it and you book.
I'm going to fire as soon as I realize that Burn is safely moving away from me, I'm going to fire in their direction, but wide.
Yeah, you try to...
If it's safe to do so, if there's not too much traffic, of course.
The direction that Burn is fleeing in is away from traffic, and you pick a relatively, let's say, a pile of discarded cardboard boxes and similar refuse that minimizes the risk of ricochet to fire off a shot. well wide of Burn's trajectory, and then Burn turns corner, and you appear to have pulled this off.
I'm going to attempt to make a show of pursuing on foot.
Adam,
Yes.
can I have also brought with me some of the Faraday cage makings?
I mean, yeah, you do have those materials are routinely stocked in the workshop. Being able to make efficacious use of them in this scenario is doubtful.
Thus the can I have, and the answer therefore is no. Cool.
Yeah, I mean, you could easily have some of the mesh in your hoodie pocket.
Yeah, I'd make an effort to wrap that around the box.
Okay. Yeah.
For precisely what that's worth.
Yeah, once you are clear, you kind of fumble with it a bit, and maybe even, depending on how capacious your hoodie pocket is, if it's one of those tube pockets in the front, shove the box into it.
Yeah, instead of going into the back room or back to the frontispiece, I go into the basement first.
All right. Yeah, you have a picked out entrance, and you sort of duck in fairly smoothly with a fairly well practiced movement. You can navigate a little ways toward the frontispiece under the surface before having to pop back out again. You can of course stay down there if you wish for a minute.
I ping Cato coordinates by another basement entrance to please have prepared a full Faraday cage box for this thing, since it is apparently sensible by the IMX drones.
I think we probably have stuff that's doable.
Yeah, well, and during this, I would assume that the other two are kind of paying attention to the chat, so it'll only take you a few minutes. This also being before Gorrister leaves for the day. You can get some help from him putting something like that together.
We're just drawing Gorrister into so much crime.
He's a professional accessory.
Once I lose... Please
very
go
easily,
on, Adam,
Gorrister does not even ask what the Faraday cage he's building is for.
Yeah.
And
he's sort of the epitome of don't want to know.
Yeah. Cal?
Once I lose sight of Burn, I imagine my on-foot pursuit is delayed. I'm going to call it in, but have the suspect heading in the opposite direction of which I know Burn to be heading in.
Okay. You call it in. Tupper is swearing loudly into your ear. He has some unkind things to say about your efficacy as a security officer, but he is quickly distracted by trying to get pursuit started, in the directions that you gave.
I'm going to embellish the description of the suspect, keeping the clothing the same, but mention that they seem to have holographic projection armor.
We probably would have discussed specifically Revenant's appearance, since that's what's going to be on the cameras.
I was assuming that was the holographic projection armor to which Cal was referring.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know that we have had in on air a description of what Revenant's appearance might be.
We have
I wanted to...
either a fairly classy android chassis. The holographic projection armor is what we've got an on air description
cool.
of, and the holographic projection armor for the for Revenant's image that was circulated by Lou Tupper was either a sort of kind of classy and aesthetic android chassis, or kind of evoking a classical statue somewhere on that continuum.
Slick.
I'm going to send I imagine I return to my scooter but to go into the station and draft up a full report having lost a suspect. Also because I'm a little roughed up. But I am going to send a text. The first one says simply, "I'm proud of you." And then the second one quickly says, "You should probably send me a cover string of text to explain why I've been on my phone, ideally with my landlord." I'm sure you can figure out who they are.
I respond first, I'm not. And then do the cover thing without further comment.
Yep. So this is going on in the background, Cal, while you get essentially processed. You submit your report while Lou yells in the background at you, at your assailant, at IMX, at GPOL, at specific politicians, mostly from Union.
Also, the group chat and your contact info for Cato and for me are deleted from your phone, as well as any attendant conversations. Relevant portions of your conversations with Ing, which I am keyword searching and tell you that I'm doing this before I, do it, are also deleted if they touch on matters of relevance.
And
Perfect.
But I do not otherwise read them because I'm just keyword searching.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. And once I am there kind of calling it in, I am going to try to ping it on the R3 varmint.
Mm-hmm.
And probably continually mispronounce Revenant as R3 Venant.
Bravissimo. Do give me a cool head roll with cool, so +3.
Okay. I got snake eyes.
no.
Okay. Well, good news. It is +4 because you have a talent that gives you +1 on all rolls when dealing with police and other security forces.
Yes.
So,
yes.
6
So
total.
So it's a 6.
Yeah, it's still a 6.
Let's see. This is happening around the close of business for the frontispiece, around quitting time generally. You get put through the ringer at the station. If Lou Tupper was the kind of person who could just let his employees handle things like this, you might be in trouble. But because he is not, and because he is not a very good police officer, as not very good at doing the tasks of policing, as well as just a very sort of egoistic and impulsive person, what happens is that
The Elon Musk of cops.
That's a cursed phrase that I refuse to think about for even 1 second longer.
It's a mind
You're welcome.
virus. Yeah, it's an actual mind virus.
Because of all this, you have a very unpleasant, very protracted evening. It is close to 9 p.m. before you are allowed to be done here. You get some sympathy from your fellow officers because of the disabling of your augments. Tupper, however, not impressed. He makes it very clear that none of this should have happened, but at the very least, you should have been able to hit the guy in the back of the head or the leg with that shot at the end. He certainly would have. He repeats over and over again. This is deeply unacceptable to him in a way that you start to think maybe is reflective of him being afraid of someone being displeased with this. But at the end of the day, there's not a whole lot he can do other than professionally reprimand you. He can't really even get away with giving you docked pay or actual demerits, because you didn't actually violate procedure here in any way that he can prove. But he's going to be trying.
Good luck.
By the time you leave, it's pretty much everybody else who was there when you came in has cycled out and a whole new shift is there. They don't even really know what's going on, any specificity. but they give you some sort of sympathetic glances as you're able to head out. Now, this does mean that, circling back, there are several hours, during which Cal is professionally detained, during which the rest of you are presumably doing other things, including getting the kit bash into its Faraday cage and stealthily back to the frontispiece.
Yeah, I probably don't appear out of the basements until 7 or so.
Mm-hmm.
Even after delivery of the Faraday cage to the specified basement entrance adjacent spot.
Mm-hmm.
I am just holed up in the basement, honestly not having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
But, doing it at least alone and where there's no secondary shame of people seeing it.
Fair enough. Cal?
I don't have any indication that you would rather be alone right now, though, so I'm probably on my way with that Faraday cage.
Yeah, it's a seamless handoff.
Mm-hmm.
How seamless? Do I notice anything?
You leave it outside. It is retrieved.
Fair enough.
Yeah, what I understood, Cato, is that Byrne had messaged you essentially a dead drop. You will, show up and grab that, and he will just stay in the basement.
Yeah, I do. For sure. So we pull that off with no friction, but I do at some point message Byrne and just ask, how'd it go? Up to you whether I receive a response, obviously.
20 minutes later, it went.
I'm gone if you need a minute. I'm here when you need me. I almost send that, and then I change when to if.
You don't get a response to that.
Didn't figure I would. I also message Cal with a similar inquiry.
It does not go through.
That message I received loud and clear.
Ing, have you been getting up to anything in particular during this interval?
I think if it wouldn't bring additional heat down on the frontispiece, I might wander in that direction if I hadn't already been there, just to check in with people on the ground there. See if we can help with the situation.
Don't imagine that there's any reason it would. You're not, involved in this, sort of activity, really.
I'd also like to, once I get there, if there's anybody around, I'll check in, general how's things going. But I'm also interested in examining this drone a little bit more closely. Mm-hmm. See if I was able to pick up anything that Cato wasn't.
So I think you probably get there before Cato gets back with the drone in the box, the Faraday cage. Gorrister has left. Quitting time arrived, and he was out as soon as the clock struck, so to speak. Which, hey, good for him. But when you arrive, Gorrister's departure necessitated, Bronwy being back on duty. So Bronwy and Prolix are on babysitting duty, and you have an opportunity if you wish to interact, catch up with Bronwy. Otherwise, she is very happy to exchange pleasantries and then work on her various augmentation projects that she's got going on at a given time.
Yeah, I would like to catch up with Bronwy, but that can probably happen off screen unless there are kind of some relevant developments that she'd like to share about how she's doing, how her day is, if theoretically we could use her home base as a place to move the baby if we need to, things like that.
Well, I mean, she was asleep through all of the discussions last time, so if there's anything that you want to take it on your initiative to bring up to her now, then that's fine. If not, then presumably group discussions are incoming.
Yeah, group discussions incoming.
All right. Some interval after you arrive and, sort of exchange pleasantries with Bronwy, Cato will come back with the Faraday cage with the kit bash and the cardboard box in it. And this gives the two of you an opportunity to examine it in more detail. So how are you going to go about doing that?
Well, I'd like to start by taking a look. Presumably pick up on many of the things that Cato did. I think that I'm struck by the beauty of this thing. Doing what I can. Actually, I'd like to propose using a combination of, robotics or clever and psychology to reconstruct what kind of a person would construct something like this. Because I can say out of character. Oh, go ahead.
Are you referring to philosophy? Because that's what's on your
character do I not have psychology?
Not on the version I've got.
No, you're probably right. Yeah, philosophy. And so
aesthetics.
fleshing
that
out. Not only aesthetics, but, this is someone that is putting something above sheer utility, unless the utility of this thing is in its aesthetics. And so this speaks to a mind or someone that is approaching things from something beyond just a sheer utilitarian perspective, and that might tell me something about their aims or their mind.
So that's going to be 2 separate roles from you, and we'll get to them in just one moment. Cato, what are your contributions here, if any?
I think I'm running an assist and looking haunted and worrying about Matchstick, but not knowing what else to do, and therefore burying myself in learning about this thing.
Good deal. So, Ing, the first thing I want from you is a clever plus robotics roll, which is +5.
I was looking at my character sheet earlier, and that is wrong. I believe that I had raised robotics to 3, but then filled it out wrong.
I see. So that would be +6 then.
So that's 8 plus 6,
14.
14.
All right. And then before I get into the results of that, if we could have a second roll from you using your philosophy specialty.
Sorry, I don't. I rolled 7.
Okay, so philosophy is 2. I'm assuming it's going with clever, which is 3, so that's going to be 12.
Okay.
All right. So you do discover a lot of what Cato noticed with his earlier inspection, but you have a little more leisure and some more specific expertise. And what you quickly realize is that extraordinarily little of this thing is metal. Now, this is not unheard of. Polymers, carbon fibers, these things are becoming more usable, but they are very expensive. So not a lot of designs, especially on this kind of scale, use these materials to this degree. Even the electrical systems here are, silicon semiconductors, not like copper. This is interesting, just sort of from a craftsman's perspective, but it also makes it a mystery where this could have come from. There aren't hobbyists that are going to be doing this, given the availability of these materials and like their market dates. Anybody doing this in their garage with bespoke sort of handwork isn't going to have been finished with something like this by this point, much less like a whole passel of them like there seem to be of kit bashes. This would be putting together a sports car from machined parts in your garage. The other thing is that you can't detect why this is disabled without taking it apart. There's no indication from what you can see without digging into it of why this is not active right now. Philosophically,
okay,
on that second roll, obviously there have been some priorities aside from functionality here. There is sort of an aesthetic that seems to be shared. And you make a connection between this and Over 3. They're not congruent design aesthetics, but there are some broad similarities that don't reflect what you know of like commercial and industrial production of drone parts. It also is not designed for maintenance. There's no, as far as you can tell, no way to do maintenance on this without fully disassembling it. There's it's a beyond an Apple laptop, in terms of inaccessibility, right? This is even further than having to take out the motherboard to replace the hard drive. Just there aren't screws for that. You'd be cutting things apart to do any maintenance on this and having to replace them wholesale.
So the impression that I'm getting, you can correct me or not correct me, is that this seems to be an intentional kind of a hybridization between mechanical and biological. It is not a biological being, but it is very much kind of skewed in the direction of the design philosophy of biological beings.
Yeah, maybe not skewed like as far as it could be, but certainly on that side of the spectrum.
Cool. All right. And at this point, if Byrne hasn't emerged just yet, I'll see if I can
call it 8:30 when I arrive by the side door through which Gorrister's patients leave.
So at the point where you finish this examination without having taken anything apart, you probably still have an hour and a half before Byrne is going to wander in. Not that you know that.
All right. I'm going to go and knock on a door.
Any particular door?
Byrne's door. Sorry.
Oh.
I thought.
Just the
Byrne's
door
is not directly accessible, I think, from either the front part of the frontispiece or directly from Gorrister's Bay.
I think you have to go into some infrastructure to get to what would qualify as Byrne's door.
All right. Fair.
I maybe see him headed back that way and go, he's not home at the moment.
Yeah. All right.
I think I probably shouldn't have this gambit, I'm glad we got the thing, but this might not have been the best idea.
Yeah, well, seems like it was Byrne's choice, and they keep insisting that that's something that's important to them. Doesn't mean that they can't get in over their heads like any of the rest of us, but you know them best. How can we support them?
Step 1, don't go looking. They'll show up when they're ready.
All right.
I don't know what step 2 is, though, and that's bugging the hell out of me, if I'm honest. I don't know. It's not like either of us know what it's like to... I don't think they're used to doing violence. That might be at the heart of it. What the hell do I know? Most of the violent stuff I've done, I ended up doing to myself.
Yes, that violence can be upsetting.
That's an extremely strange thing to say.
Yeah, well, I've been in a scrape or two. If it seems like they could use someone to talk to about violence being upsetting, send them my way. If you happen to talk to them before I do. I've seen a thing or two.
I appreciate that, and we should unpack that incredibly cryptic statement at some point, if you're amenable.
Yeah, of course. I'm an open book.
Just real quick, I want to foreground for the listeners that this conversation is taking place with a background of prolix. And
it bears repeating. I never forget.
Bronwyn is also present, though she has put in her headphones and is facing the other way. So she has like removed herself from the conversation with sort of deliberate politeness. But like, you know, this is maybe 7 feet away from both of those things.
Yeah, I think that we should unpack a bit of that. The short version, though, I'm against violence because I've seen what it can do, and Bernd got a bit of a glimpse behind the scenes there. Maybe we've got more in common than I thought.
Maybe. I guess it just didn't occur to me that this would. I mean, you know, it's a taser. It's not. You might notice I'm touching my face, and I might not myself be aware of it. I don't know. If you can talk to them, I'd appreciate it. I don't always know what to say, and sometimes, I don't know, the very fact that I'm saying anything makes them feel, I don't know, watched in a way that's not always productive.
Fair.
I don't know what I am to anybody, I guess, but I know it's not always helpful, so thanks for the assist.
Yeah, well, you know, let's not get ahead of ourselves here. I could muck things up pretty royally.
I'm a firm believer in making new and interesting mistakes rather than the same ones again and again.
Yeah. I'm glad that you're there for Bern. I haven't known either you very long, but I get the impression that it's an important relationship to them.
It's important to me, too. I just don't know whether I'm fucking up at any given moment, I guess.
Yeah. It's the kind of thing that you often hear from parents.
I instinctively look around to make sure Bern is not in the room. Not so much from mine, but yeah. They didn't say much, I guess.
Well, that might merit some unpacking itself.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I'm glad to have you in on this thing. I mean, this, obviously, your expertise is appreciated. I gesture at our latest acquisition, but also this, all of it. You're all right.
You are too. If I'm going to be in,
as though really,
yeah. I mean, if we're going to be on the edge of total obliteration by 5 different factions aiming to take us out, you're a good bloke to be in the middle of it with.
I'm oddly comfortable in this situation, if I'm honest. That's probably my number one concern, as long as we're, unpacking just a little, or at least making a list of things to unpack later.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, I think so. I think we probably go back to fiddling at this point.
I guess another thing I want to, background in this case for the listeners is that there's probably a box containing an android stomach intended for Ing in the background of any shot in the set.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah, I gotta say, Kato, I don't think I've got the stomach for this.
I'll be honest. I kept expecting Kato to be like, we should talk about this over a drink, And then there'd just be a beat where the camera pivots to the box with a stomach in it.
That would have been so much better.
It's like the subtle foreshadowing trend on TikTok. Just like it keeps jump cutting to the stomach over and over again.
I do think, though, since we probably have a few more minutes, this would be a good time to present the presents. So didn't weave it in as elegantly as cinematography would normally allow. But
what you mean in the middle of an awkward conversation about your respective roles in a found family, you didn't think to do the cinematic thing? How dare you?
I know. The plates they spin. This reminds me, actually, I don't mean to be presumptuous, but I did a little bit of looking around on your behalf. Some of what I found is entirely practical for the sorts of stuff we've been doing, but there's one item that it's a little bit more optional. Take it or leave it. It's up to you, obviously. This is what I present. Mm-hmm. The stomach.
And also the other things?
Yeah, they're arrayed out, basically.
Mm. Now, to be clear for our listeners,
a charcuterie plate of parts.
Ing had essentially ordered by proxy the surveillance modules that are present here. The stomach is a surprise.
Yeah, so managed to find what you asked for and something you didn't precisely. But, well, I mean, if you want to enjoy things other than vibes.
I don't know what to say. Cato, this is incredible. It looks expensive.
I mean, if you acquired it legally, it probably would be. I wouldn't know.
Well, good gosh, that's incredibly thoughtful. This is the passive surveillance package that I was asking about. If with enough time, I can probably, resell the data on that I pick up and pay you back for the entire get-go, get-up.
I wave a very large arm dismissively. Look, you find something and you think of me at some point, fine, give me a present, but you don't owe me for this. This is free and clear.
Good God.
In the background.
I don't know what to say. And I will go in for a bit of an awkward hug.
Aww.
I jerk back very slightly as though expecting you to tell me you hate it and punch me, and then realize that's not happening, and I return the hug.
I'd say that given Cato's arm situation, all of Cato's hugs are at least a little bit awkward. This one maybe a little bit more so. And in the background of all of this, Brolix is saying, procuring education on consulted assurance and due certainty listening no behavior by an outlived, insisted, procured, improved arm.
As we're hugging, I say what he said.
Right. Well,
and look, just because it's expensive and it was hard to find whatever, that's we can resell it if you don't like it. Then it's up to you. I'm not telling you what to do with your your anything. And look, some things don't taste good. That's widely
Cato, this is brilliant. I would love your advice on the first thing you put in this stomach.
I'm gonna need to think about that. Oh, the possibilities. Definitely not the sake at Izakaya Popoi, but beyond that, the possibilities are endless. The world is all sorts of things.
Yeah, we could start with the good things, but I want to eat everything. The good stuff, the gross stuff.
I'm not sure exactly what features this has in terms of analyzing hazardous materials, so you might want to investigate before you go too crazy. But, yeah, we'll dig in.
That's fantastic.
So you probably have enough time if you want to get this thing installed before either of our other characters come back.
Sure. I mean, yeah, Gorister's workbench is here. I offer assistance. probably tough to install this kind of thing on, on yourself.
Only because of the limitations of the two joints in an average human and therefore android arm. But
good news about my arms.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're able to assist, and I would say that probably 10-15 minutes after you finish up is when Burn shows up, and for kind of clarity of reference here, it'll be about a half an hour after that Cal finally gets to leave the station.
And for further reference, I don't really announce my presence. I just sort of pass through the space, nod, and go to my room.
And at some point during the stomach installation process, I should just point out, like, Bronwyn has been there. She's been sort of courteously, like, allowing for privacy, but she does enthuse about the hardware and, sort of start rattling off all of her favorite things to eat. It is a cumbersome enough list by the time she finishes it that it is not very useful in prioritizing.
Has Bronwyn designed a stomach before? Or, like, taste bud sweet?
So she has, though not one that has ever been installed or implemented. They have been purely experimental and for testing on her own part.
Ominous.
That said, though, eventually, Burn does sort of just walk through and nod silently and head into their space. I guess Cato, particularly, if you have any particular actions you wish to take there, then now is the time. But of course, it is not required. Just giving you the opportunity.
I think I'm making another attempt to just. I don't go in person. That'd be a bit much. But I message Burn again and just say, "You square?" After a
square.
Or I guess you don't. Sometimes time can be a real sort of a vast gulf. Anyway, how you doing?
I don't want this stun gun.
I'll come take it off your hands.
It's on the counter.
Consider it taken off your hands. That wasn't really the question, though.
That pause is probably
sure.
In character.
I see if I can message Cal yet.
You can't. I hope they don't hate me for that.
No. I don't think that's on the table. The two of you planned it together. If it didn't go the way it needed to, then you talk that through. We talk that through if that's helpful. But no.
I think it went about the way it ought to have gone. I deleted our contact info and all relevant, potentially questionable discussions from their phone, that in case you've tried to reach out to them.
I did make an attempt.
We are not currently able to do so, at least for so long as they're undergoing what I imagine is the third degree from Tupper.
That's smart on your part, and in fact, dumb on mine. Definitely just sort of activated that.
Probably look into getting them a burner phone.
Yeah.
Or, if they'd let me, I could see about setting up what amounts to a dual boot phone.
That sounds useful.
That way there wouldn't be the questionable physicality of why do you have a second phone, officer?
No, it's smart. That's not for the first time something I should have thought of that you beat me to, so thanks for that. I guess I was just trying to get in touch with them because, I don't know. First things first, was anyone dead?
No.
Okay, and then second thing second, is everyone, well, where they need to be? You don't have to be, but, you don't have to be now, but longer term, honestly, you do. It's important to me.
I don't know that I can answer that question right now.
Yeah, that's fine.
Sorry.
That's fine. I got a kid bash to play with, so, also, Ing has a stomach now, so it's been a productive day.
The fuck?
I mean, knowing Ing, that could mean anything.
Yeah. When I love it as a ripcord, Kato gets too uncomfortable with the conversation. He goes, I got a stomach.
That could be a topiary.
It could.
Yep.
Yeah.
What?
Its name is Basil. He has it on a little leash.
Now I'm just imagining it, like, going along, like, with the snail, like, monopod.
Ew.
You're welcome, everybody.
Yeah.
Now you two are imagining that.
I'll be imagining that for some time. Say, gift. We've been, us ogged folks were, I guess, keeping ourselves busy. And anyway, I wanted them to be able to participate.
That's good of you. That's really nice.
Yeah, I hope they're not just being nice. They seemed excited.
I don't honestly know whether or not Ing is a sophisticated enough liar to bullshit you.
I wonder sometimes, but yeah. No, I think it's for real. I think it was the right move.
Like, I don't know, and in not knowing, like, there's always the open possibility that Ing's some sort of deceitful wunderkind. Which I realize is a bit ironic of me saying that, but never mind.
As long as you're aware of the irony, I don't really see a problem. Look, you need time, you need space. You got it, to a degree. It's a small living space, but you get me.
Yeah.
You don't have to answer anything you don't want to answer. Just know, look, you're safe here. I think you know that, but I hope you know it in your bones.
I try not to think about it too much. Thinking about it too much makes it less real.
I'll do the best thing I can and shut the fuck up then.
No, you're fine. Thank you.
Of course. I go back to check on Ing and make sure the stomach hasn't crawled out and started slugging across the...
5 minutes later, the chat log is deleted.
I look at it like, yeah, it took a little longer than I expected. But no real surprise.
Around about this time, a little bit later, Cal, you are finally allowed to go home.
Thank God.
You are pretty...
I'm so sorry, Cal.
Yeah. You are pretty sure Tupper is not going to sign off on paying you for any of that time, given how upset he is. But you may be able to sort of end run the paperwork since it doesn't all, like, cross his desk individually. That said, that is a tarnished fucking silver lining.
Yeah, I head straight to the apartment. Possibly checking my phone on the way to confirm that all of the contacts have in fact been deleted.
Yeah, it's squeaky clean.
Mm-hmm. Once I get home, I kind of give a tentative hello. And
all you hear is the faint gurgling of the arms environment circulating its fluids. It's remarkably similar to the sound of a fish tank in a quiet room, but slightly meatier.
After that,
thanks, I hate it.
Completely normal.
This is the Meat Punks episode of Hardwired Island.
I mean, at a certain point, like, every episode has the threat of being an invocation of Meat Punks.
Mm-hmm.
True enough.
The Meat Punk stuff is in some ways us just allowing certain impulses to run wild that are usually kept in check.
Carry on, Cal. Sorry about that.
After that completely normal and not at all unsettling description of the ambiance of the apartment, I realize I'm alone and I throw my phone aggressively into the soft whatever seat that I have where I know it won't actually break. Open the fridge, look for something that's not there, slam it shut, instead pour myself a tall glass of water and pour rubbing alcohol over any of the scrapes that I accrued during the scooter accident.
That was certainly the most sort of like, there isn't a lot of lasting damage from this in the physical sense, but the most of it that you did get was from bailing on your scooter, and there are a couple of scrapes, so you pour rubbing alcohol on them. Enjoy the sting as much as such a thing can be said to be enjoyable. It's, you know, the feeling of cleaning the wounds, finally. But and take a nice long pull on some cool water.
Mm-hmm. I also set a timer for 30 seconds and grab the nearest pillow, presumably the one I sleep on, because I imagine I don't keep a lot of soft things around the house, and yell into it for full force.
The pillow does an excellent job of muffling the sound, but in the quiet apartment, it still sounds pretty loud. And when you do come up at the end of your timer, you notice that the hand is twitching the ring finger a little bit.
I try not to make eye contact? Question mark.
You glance away.
It's hard to win a staring contest with a thing that doesn't have eyes.
Yeah. I sit on the couch and wait.
All right. This brings me to a fairly key question here. Having done as much as you really can with an external examination of the kit bash by both Kato and Ing, are we getting up to anything else with it tonight?
I think just making sure that it's secure, because without any indication of why it's disabled, it could very well not be.
Yeah, I think we make sure it's Faraday caged and also, physically secured in some way.
Okay. That is doable. So then, I suppose, Ing, when, if at all, do you head back to your apartment?
Yeah, I think that I will head back a half hour after we wrap up with the stomach installation.
Okay.
With a last word to Kato. Whatever, let's get together at some point, all of us. I'd love to have my first experience eating and tasting something to be with people, because that's the whole point. Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah, so you'll arrive back at the apartment, I'm going to say probably 15, 20 minutes after Cal has finished their scream therapy.
When I hear the key in the apartment door, I pretend like I was cleaning the kitchen.
The kitchen has not been used in at least 24 hours, but you wipe down some counters.
Does Ing have any indication that Cal's off? Or does Cal hide things sufficiently?
Cal is very good at hiding things.
Fair.
In fact, when you walk through, they greet you as they always do. How's it going?
Yeah. I've got a stomach. Ing says with a grin.
I turn and blink at Ing as a accessory or for personal use.
I proudly show empty hands, front and back, and then tap my tum-tum. Integrated.
It would be really funny if it was installed like up here Just,
For
like,
viewers,
deeply out
that's
of
in the
place
upper
for a
chest.
stomach.
It's how did this come to pass? Congratulations. You gotta give me some cues here. This is a good thing, yes?
Oh yes, it's a brilliant thing.
Okay.
A gift from Cato. It's non-biological, I think. That's right, GM, right? It's synthetic, but gives the ability to, at least in theory, taste things. And analyze toxins, maybe, but I can
I
taste and
cut
enjoy
you
food
off.
and drink.
I cut you off mid-sentence and just hug you.
I'm surprised, and after a split second, I return the hug. Yeah, firm, heartfelt. Thank you. This means a lot. Both.
I'm happy for you, kid.
Yeah. But how about you? Not too roughed up, I hope.
Just a few scrapes and another day in the office.
Yeah, well, glad you've got such tough skin.
Yeah, I've been through worse. Tasing is kind of part of basic training.
Yeah.
Do you have plans for what you're gonna eat first with your stomach?
I'm open to suggestions. Glad you asked. But I can think of no one better than to share a meal with my ersatz family.
I wouldn't
If
try.
that's not too presumptuous. I mean, I know that met most of them pretty recently, but we've been through a lot, you know.
Yeah. I wouldn't recommend my cooking anyway. So, yeah.
Well, let's not discount that. I mean, I don't know how you feel about having people over for a home cooked meal.
I wouldn't recommend them trying my cooking, but I guess I wouldn't. I mean, they can come over if they want. I don't see why they would. I don't have their. I had them delete my number just because I knew I would get interrogated a bit. When is planned?
Well, then, with your permission, I'll reach out and suggest maybe something tomorrow night, unless that's too soon.
I really don't know why they'd want to come over here. I don't have much of anything. I try to make it casual as I walk over to one of the few bookshelves and start rearranging as though dusting, but actually shove some picture frames behind books.
Do I catch a glimpse of any of the picture frames? You know what's in the pictures?
You've seen them before.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, well, I mean, this is maybe strange to say given the circumstances, but one thing that I've gained some appreciation for is that sometimes a meal isn't about the food. It's about the people that you spend the time with. Now that
we should do takeout. There's plenty of good places that deliver here. Yeah, I have some. I have some favorites. They might be surprised to know it doesn't just involve donuts. How are they? Are they fine? Like everything went as planned? They got the kit bash. They're good.
Yeah, no, everything's as fine as it can be. It seems like maybe Byrne's taken things a bit hard. I think they were a bit shaken up about whatever happened.
I mean, everything went off without a hitch. Damn it. not good at this stuff. I always manage to mess this sort of stuff up.
I don't think you messed anything up. You seem distracted. You sure you're all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, we'll invite him over, order takeout, and figure out our next moves. I probably shouldn't be seen around the frontispiece. I'm going to be under a bit more scrutiny than normal, and we should probably talk about plans in case I'm compromised.
All right. That all sounds good.
Tupper is afraid. There's probably IMX pulling the strings. Wanted the kit bash more than he did. And was not happy, but he's never happy. That doesn't really change anything.
Well, now that is interesting. I wouldn't want to poke that particular bear, except perhaps those of us from the outside can...
He wishes he was a bear.
Teddy bear, then.
Tupper bear.
Good. Tupper
bear. Tupper bear. That's his nickname from now on.
It's too cute.
Sorry, I'm now just imagining a bear that's intended for the storage of food and occasionally burps.
Yeah. You can burp the little Tupper
that's
bear.
bears, right?
Fair.
Yeah, if we're comfortable with the conversation winding down there between Ing and Cal, then...
Yeah, I think I will just interject that as the conversation winds down between Cal and Ing, Ing will offer a final, Cal, you know that you could talk to me if you'd like.
I know. I appreciate that. But your safety is my priority.
Ing will let the silence just play out.
In the background, the hand is very slightly flexing all four fingers very slowly.
Oh,
congratulations!
So cute when it does that.
Cousin it.
So this is probably about how Thursday night winds down, and I'll be honest. When I was sort of thinking ahead about this episode, I had it in my mind that we would get through Friday and into Saturday in a Apacious conversation. We do not have time for that in this recording session, so I think this is as good a stopping point as any, and a relatively nicely chill one. We'll pick up tomorrow with what we get up to at the Kit Bash during Friday, and hopefully get into Saturday. And Apacia's visit then as well. Anything that we want to make sure we get on the record before we wrap up, though?
Only that the taser goes somewhere. There's probably nowhere in the frontispiece the matchstick couldn't get if they really wanted to, but I put it in a drawer in my room with a lock that, they'll never have to see it unless they mean to.
Sounds good.
Mechanical query, Adam. Where does all of this fall on a scale of 1 to accomplishing my goal of further getting reactions in it and slight antagonizing of the good officer?
I guess I had it written down differently. Count it as progress toward the goal, I suppose. You have learned things about Cal. I will let you know when that amounts to sort of a milestone here. I will say one of the things that's interesting about the way that we have implemented this system is that a lot of the goals I have from players are I think a little more open-ended than the assumptions that the authors had.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to sort of figure out what a good way to meter out those goals is. On a related topic, though, certainly this was a relatively self-contained little episode here, coming off of the exact aftermath of Wecht's visit. But I think it probably counts as enough of a milestone, both in terms of character expression and acquiring a kit bash to analyze, that everybody can have one experience point for the accomplishments of this episode. And without
This was kind of like a whole ass mission with zero prep.
That's a pretty good way of putting it, yeah. At least for 3 of you, I guess. But at any rate, with the examinations of the device and as well as its acquisition and the ringer that it put some of you through, I think it certainly well earns an XP. So mark an additional experience point wherever you do such things. And that'll conclude this session of Dice Punks. Thank you for joining us. I hope our players and listeners enjoyed it as much as I did, and that you'll join us again next time. If you're hearing us now, then you probably know where to listen to this, but we can be found almost any place one can listen to podcasts, as well as on the wider web at dicepunks.com and on Tumblr and Blue Sky as at Dicepunks. With that, I think we're ready to say farewell, so say goodbye to the kind folks back on Earth, players.
Thanks for listening, and I have talked a lot tonight, so hopefully you enjoyed hearing me talk a lot tonight.
You listeners are objectively the best. Do talk about your feelings when appropriate before they consume you.
Hear, hear.
Thanks for listening, folks, and do your very best to not let disagreements escalate to the deployment of weapons.
Yes, thank you for listening, folks, to Hardwired Island, your one-stop shop to workshop plots to drop, bop, and shock cops. Robbing the thingamabob was an inside job.
Listeners, Drew just spun around in a circle. Most excellent, as always. And as the poet once said, I'm no man. I'm what's left when children go to war. Beloved listeners, thank you for tuning in. Stick around through the admin stuff for Luke's Lies. The music in this episode, Augment or Die, is by Emerson Boatwright and our very own bookmonger, Drew. Check out their other work at the link in the show notes. Editing and our rad new cover art was done by Joanne, who's appeared on the podcast now and again. Check out her work around the internet, where she goes by Anything Sows. Site design and graphics for dicepunks.com are by the one and only Officer Armitage, Robin. Hardwired Island is by Paul Mitchevic, Freya Erlingsdotter, and Minerva McJonda. You can find Hardwired Island at etten.itch.io/hardwiredisland. Links to the systems and authors can be found on the Punk Grimoire section of our website, dicepunks.com. Thanks so much for listening. If you liked what you heard, that's a reward on its own, but if you're so inclined, you can help us out by rating and reviewing us wherever you listen to us, telling your friends who you think would like us to give us a listen, and even by heading over to our Patreon at patreon.com/dicepunks. We have fun rewards available to backers, including a patron-only Discord and access to the Dice Peaks after show for episodes 1.1 and following. Regardless, we hope you'll tune in again, and until then, remember, subtlety is for cowards.
This is not my first experience with taser violence. I cannot recommend it even from a distance. Crying, screaming, pants pissing. To say nothing of the intensity of cops deploying tasers on the citizens they're supposed to protect. It's better, I suppose, than using actual guns with live bullets. My parents' country of origin, as with most of the nations of the world, held a lottery for access to Grand Cross tickets. There were reasonable accusations as to the legitimacy of the lottery's results. There were protests. There were responses to protests. My parents did not win. We came up as part of the building crews, and my older brother's political outspokenness did not win him friends. He and my father suffered a work accident, and my mother disappeared with the insurance payoff. I got to spend some quality time in the station's basements. That's its own set of misadventures, with only tangential bearing on the questions of violence. There's a reason I prioritize stealth. Honestly, I'd be just as fine only being perceived when I will myself to be so. And now I've got a fucking taser. Well, we do. That I don't know how to deploy. I don't particularly wish to know how or do.